Hey guys, Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. 6 days to go, the deadline week is here, and today as usual ready to update you on all the latest. 6 days to go, deadline week, together with my friends of Kraken, one of the best places to invest. Remember, more than 15 million people on it, with Kraken powering our video today as a partner for this deadline week. Ready to go with many news, many info, and so let's jump into it today. And here we are, guys, ready for all the updates. Many things to say, many things to mention, and let me start with Rasmus Højlund direction Napoli. Deal almost agreed between Napoli and Manchester United. Final details to be clarified with player side, and then Højlund could travel for medical as new Napoli player, loan with an option to buy to become obligation under certain conditions. As I mentioned to you also yesterday, these conditions are appearances and Champions League qualification for Napoli. So Højlund in that way. Also important to say, guys, that the feeling of the last 48 hours is on Alejandro Garnacho clearly to go to Chelsea. Garnacho camp very optimistic about that, turning down all the other approaches. I'm told that also a Saudi club called again in the recent days to ask about the situation, why Garnacho is still not going to Chelsea, can we enter the deal? The answer was, thanks, but it's not about the money. Sancho wants to play for Chelsea, and so Chelsea and Sancho maintain this agreement they have on personal terms and this feeling to get a deal done for sure before the deadline. So work in progress for Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea. I expect this deal to happen. Today, Roma are in London, Roma director Massara to negotiate with Chelsea for Tyreke George. So there is a conversation ongoing for Tyreke George to Roma. Could be a permanent transfer with a heavy sell-on clause, so negotiations to follow very soon. But also the Tyreke George situation is going to be an interesting one to follow. And remember what I told you last night about Nicholas Jackson. Many movements because Newcastle are calling, Aston Villa are calling, but Bayern made direct club-to-club contact with Chelsea, so the two clubs are negotiating in terms of formula of the deal, in terms of salary and all the rest. So Bayern have entered strong the race for Nico Jackson. Let's see what's going to happen there, with many clubs interested and with one of the big names in these final days of the summer transfer window. Strikers, guys, and so on strikers we have to mention Alexander Isak. Crucial hours. We are in crucial hours now. Time is running out, and so obviously they need to find a solution. Liverpool, Newcastle, player side. As of today, lunchtime, Isak is still fighting to go to Liverpool. And he's still not changing his mind. Still hoping for the move to happen to Liverpool Football Club. So Isak is pushing. Liverpool are waiting for Newcastle. What's going on Newcastle side? Newcastle are still, from what I'm hearing, in negotiation with Wolves for Strand Larsen. He extended his contract earlier this summer. Wolves already turned down a proposal worth £50 million from Newcastle in the last 24 hours. But they are still there. Newcastle are still hoping. Newcastle are still trying. They're trying to find a structure for Strand Larsen to join the club and to be their new striker. So negotiations ongoing for Strand Larsen to Newcastle. Not easy because Wolves insist on no intention to sell the player, but the deal is on for Strand Larsen to join Newcastle. So let's see what's going to happen in this negotiation. Don't forget that they need two strikers. And so also Visa from Brentford remains a topic, with a player keen on the move, giving priority to Newcastle despite approaching from Saudi also in this case, but still waiting on the club-to-club agreement with Brentford. But Newcastle keep working on strikers. Many questions on the situation of Dusan Vlahovic, but from what I'm hearing on Dusan Vlahovic, it was just offered to Newcastle. But already weeks ago, it's not today, yesterday, it's been for weeks, this topic of Dusan Vlahovic being offered to Newcastle. But at the moment, the focus of Newcastle is still on Strand Larsen and on Visa. Let's see what's going to happen, with Wolves still saying no for Strand Larsen. More news, guys. Let's go fast as we have many things to say. Piero Hincapié, agreement on personal terms with Arsenal. Very good contacts in the recent hours between Hincapié and Arsenal. Very good contacts on the contract. The contract is ready. The player said yes to Arsenal. Really attracted by the project. Really attracted by the possibility to be an important player for Mikel Arteta. What I'm hearing, the Kivior situation is crucial. Let's stay ready on my platforms for Kivior, because today Porto sent an official bid over 25 million euros, as I told you yesterday. It's 26 million euros between loan fee and obligation to buy for Jakub Kivior. It's a loan with an obligation to buy. Now it's Arsenal who have to decide what they want to do, whether they want to accept, let Kivior go and close the deal for Pierre Nketiah or not. So it's on Arsenal now, but the agreement with the player is done. What I'm hearing is that obviously Arsenal are waiting to understand if financially they can make it work, because it would be one more big investment, and so maybe a loan with obligation to buy rather than triggering the release clause, 60 million euros, could be economically more smart for Arsenal in order to get the deal done for Pierre Nketiah. So work in progress on Nketiah to Arsenal, agreement with the player, waiting on the two clubs and to see what happens also with Kivior and Porto. Let's move into Manchester, guys, before closing on something else. Manchester City advancing fast on a deal for Donnarumma. So the agreement with Paris Saint-Germain is very close, around 30-35 million euros, is getting really closer. The agent of Donnarumma was discussing terms with Paris Saint-Germain in order to facilitate the exit and go to Manchester City. So negotiations well underway, waiting to get one crucial step for this deal. Ederson has to leave, as I told you. So if Ederson leaves, Donnarumma will be the new goalkeeper of Manchester City, waiting for this step in order to see Donnarumma joining Manchester City this summer. We will be following the situation. Many questions also on the situation of Kobbie Mainoo, guys. I already released the video yesterday, and I wanted to add something today. Obviously, as I was mentioning also yesterday, Kobbie Mainoo is not happy to stay on the bench, play 0 minutes, and then after the game you see the coach Ruben Amorim saying that he has to compete with Bruno Fernandes, who is a really important player in the squad and obviously almost a guaranteed starter. So obviously for Kobbie Mainoo was not good news, the weekend and what happened over the weekend. But I can guarantee that at the moment, on this Tuesday, there are no negotiations, no bids, and no active talks for Kobbie Mainoo to leave Manchester United. Then obviously the player can be disappointed. What happened over the weekend was leaving him something like, why all this? So obviously for Kobbie Mainoo it's not an easy situation to handle. Young player wants to play, but at the same time, at the moment, still no advanced negotiations with any club. So if something happens, I will let you know. If some bid arrives, I will let you know. But at the moment, no panic, I would say again, because Manchester United still hope to control the situation, to speak to Kobbie Mainoo, to explain to him the situation around him, and so let's wait for the next steps, but the situation is still quite calm around Kobbie Mainoo. Something to close also on Julio Enciso, waiting for Chelsea to have Chelsea and Strasbourg. This deal is for Blue Co Group this season at Strasbourg and in the future at Chelsea, to have the results of several details of medical tests he did, because Enciso had a serious injury in the recent months, and so they want to check everything in detail, then they will give the green light. But the medical test here is not formality, it's something important in order to give the green light to the move for Julio Enciso to Strasbourg and then future to Chelsea. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories. Many things to mention, from Garnacho, Donnarumma, Mainoo, Nketiah, Enciso and all the rest. Let me know your opinion, guys, here in comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. We are together for the whole week every day. See you soon. Ciao.